Hello everyone, this is Ozzy and Angus, and dear Miss Queenie, and this is our poster, and we are researching for the drone, and this is our drone explorations. And please look at the instruction part. Our topic was look at the ways to improve exciting drones, and we choosing this topic because we are all the drone enthusiasts, and we are all enjoyed this melting and studying the construction of the drones after school. So we are better at this area. We hope that this area and this research will make our drones better and that they can be used in more areas such as transporting goods and carrying people and recruits and so on. So we already have a drones because we made it after school already so that we chose this topic for our science fair. So our question and topic is for how to improve the maximum speed of the drones, and this is DJI drones. And so our hypothesis is if the rate of the resolution of the motor increased, then the speed will higher because higher resolution of the motor will increase the lift force. If the size of motor increased, then the speed will higher because bigger size of motor will increase the lift force. If the size of the pedal increased, then the speed will higher because the higher pedal size will increase the lift force. If the screw pitch of pedal increased, then the speed will higher because higher pedal screw pitch will increase the lift force.
Next, let me introduce the background. Nowadays, with the rise of unmanned devices and people's quest for quality of life, drones are being taken more and more seriously. Our group chose focus on improving the speed of drones at the same for science fair because we hope that this research will enable them to do more and help people to live more comfortably and conveniently. And our materials have one drone with 5-inch, 2.4 pedal, 3-inch, four pedal with 5.1 inch and 3.5 squirrel pitch, and 4 pedal with 5.1 inch in the 4.9 square pitch. And we also need one E-scale and one air speedo metal, 4 motor of size 2004 and 4 motor of size 2023 and 6.
Our scientific theory is based on this formula. That is, the force of the lift force is equal to the CL times diameter and the half of the velocity squared and times the area of the wing. So based on this formula, we can see that the L is the lift force and CL is the lift coefficient. It depends on the situations. It's not constant. And density of the air is it seems like the constant because when we do the experiment, the density of the air was changed a little in an hour because we will finish our experiment in an hour. And the velocity of the air, that means the rotation of the screw during this experiment, not for the airspeed. And the wing area means that the area in the pedal. And however, we can calculate it by using our cell phones and also by using our the inches with the screw pitch. And this is a model of our experiment. It is not a helicopter, but we can choose it and we can use it by times 4 pedal with one helicopter model.
Okay, now let me introduce the variable of our experiment. First is the independent variable, the x-axis. This is a variable that you will be changing in your experiment. And we also have the dependent variable. It means y-axis. This is a variable that changes by itself in reaction to the independent variable. And we also have the contrast variable, the variable that you want to keep constant, so then your experiment is more accurate. Examples of controlled variables include like time of the days, temperature, and we took the three independent variable, three dependent variable, and three control variables that will help our to calculate the experiment data.
And the first one is the size of the motor, and the second one is the size of pedal and the school pitch, and the third one is battery capacity. And these are dependent variables. Then because we change the size of motor means changed of the torque and the resolution of the motor. And the second one, changed of the pedal and the school pitch, means changed the distance of pedal moved in the surface area of the pedal. And the third, changes the battery capacity but not voltage, means that we changed our weight, and the controlled variables is temperature and air pressure. During this experiment, this is our process. We put 2306 motor in the June, and we put 5 inches big and 3.7 inches school pitch pedal in the reserve direction. That is push force downside direction. That we can calculate the lift force, put the drone in the E scale, and turn on the remote control and press the accelerator to 50% observed and record the force data from the scale. Turn it down and do it again, and 3 times in total. That means we have 3 trials. And the third process is change the original motor to 2004 model motor and keeping all the equipment intact. Test it trust and 50 and also have a 50% accelerator, and observe and record the force of the data. And the second step is replace the motor with 2306 motor and replace the pedal with a 3-inch set and repeat the above steps. And during this process, we also control the variables and make sure that we don't change the 2 variables at the same time. And is also that it turning down again, and we made 3 times in total. Compared and the 4th set of the experiment data, tested and draw the conclusion from the experiment. And this is our process. Move to the next part is our experiment and our data. Look at this table. This is the table from our calculation by the E scale. And as we can see, there are 3 trials and 1, 2, 3. And we changed the number 1, number 2, number 3 independent variables. And in the same time, we can make sure that we only change 1 independent variables, such as we change the size of motor, but we don't change the size of blade. And we change the size of blade, we don't change the size of motor. So, and after the comparing my experiment in part 2 and with my guesses in the part 1, I found that it's basically the same with my hypothesis, because according to the formula in my force, this one, that means lift force is equal to this formula, and we can learn that in the case of the variation of this rational constant atmospheric density. And my theory depends on the square of the rotation speed and the area of the liquid surface of the flat rotating propeller. So if the pitch of the propeller is raised, it means that the area of the propeller is raised. And at the same time, the size of the lifting motor is raised, and the rotational speed is finally, as formula for the weight is F equals to mg. However, in the calculation of the lift force, the additional force is calculated by the subtraction of the weight of the propeller itself. So the greater the weight, the smaller the remaining lift force. This is our basic conclusion.
And in the nutshell, boosting the size of motor can make more torque, and boosting the pitch of the propeller can make the propeller move a longer distance, which can make the drum gain more lift, that is, gain more speed. But a bigger battery will increase the weight and will consume more lift, which will slow down the vegetation.
This is a two model of our experiment, and we can change the size of the pedal and change the size of motor by using different joints.
But we also have lots of limitation and error in our experiment. Due to the limitation of the experimental environment and the lack of instrumentation, we are unable to incorporating control or measure wind speed and the weather. So we are unable to put the effects of the nature environment into the variables, which leads to unavoidable errors in our experimental data as a result.
And we use a lot of the method to improving our experiment. I think we can reducing the errors in our data, and we believe that we can start with the experimental environment. And we have found that the effect of the natural environment can cause unavoidable errors in our experiment. So changing the experimental site to one that is free from the outside influences, such as gymnasium or an abandoned warehouse, could be an effective way to improve our experiment. And in conclusion, and look for the future, our group will further explore the impact of increasing the speed and lift drones on their role in other civilians and applications. I believe this could help to make life better for the humans in the future. Finally, this is our reference list, and we use three resources, which is as DIY drone, and we have the basic theory of the lift force, and this is the equation and the formula. That is all our presentations. Thank you very much.